Hey, what's up? What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Noir Uwu, and today we're coming at you with something a little different. We're gonna be doing a kind of tutorial kind of video on Devil May Cry 3. This isn't scripted. Like I have the game. I'm playing it right now. So you're gonna have to bear with me a little bit because I'm not fucking Dunguri. So it might take me a few times to actually do the thing that I'm going to be explaining. So why are we doing this? The reason why is because I started to play this game again, and obviously when you're someone like me, you go on YouTube and you look at tutorials and shit on all the advanced techniques, and there are good videos out there, but a lot of them are old for one, so they don't have the best quality. But on top of that, they're not all encompassing, right? A lot of the, you're gonna have to watch a bunch of different videos, and some of the videos are for beginners, some of them are for, pros. But basically, there isn't a one-stop video how to fucking get good, how to actually look cool in this game. None of them also have the controller inputs. As you can see, I got the controller. You can see, that's me hitting square, X, circle, right? So I figured, fuck it, I'll just make it myself. It could be a little fun video. And the things I'm gonna talk about, we're gonna talk about dodging and jumping, the iframes. We're gonna talk about weapon switch canceling. We're gonna talk about gun switch canceling and RoyalGuard canceling. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about buffering. We're gonna talk about RoyalGuard buffering. And then we're gonna talk about the big thing. I'm gonna save it for last, is jump canceling. I'm gonna actually go over jump canceling, all the stuff you can do with it. So one thing I want to say, most people, the reason why they want to get good at this game is because they saw some really cool YouTube video, most likely Dunguri, somebody playing the game at like a really high skill level. And it's cool to be inspired, but don't let that, hamper your progress, right? I used to have this thing where, if I felt like on Devil May Cry 4, right? If I felt like, damn, I'm not getting that much better. You watch the combo match, you watch Dunguri for like, what do I do? How should I play? But the thing is, first of all, Dunguri, don't ever compare yourself to him because he's not human. But second of all, like, the fun of these games is finding your own play style, and constantly comparing yourself to the combo mat videos you see is just gonna make it just not fun. Like you're just gonna think like, oh, like I'm not really that good. But trust me, like, you will get better by just playing the game consistently, using trainers and stuff like that. Another thing, this is the Devil May Cry HD edition, but I'm using the DDK style switcher, so I can bring up this menu with CTRLD, bring up a bunch of different shit, and because of that we can switch styles on the fly, Trickster to Swordmaster to Royal Guard to Gunslinger. It lets us switch styles on the fly, which isn't in regular DMC3, and it lets us use as many weapons as we want. So I've got 4 different guns and 3 different melee weapons, and let's actually talk about that right off the bat. Before you even start canceling animations and shit, you should probably figure out what weapons you're gonna use, because you can, if I bring up the menu here right quick, if I scroll up, go over to actors, as you can see, you can use all the weapons. You can have every weapon equipped at once. I don't do that because it's a little overwhelming for me. I think 3 is enough for me. Base DMC3 only lets you have 2 of each, so I think 3 melee weapons and 4 range weapons, that's a good sweet spot for me. But before you even start, trying to get better, I would really figure out what weapons do you like, which ones work for you, and what order do you want them in, because we're gonna be again switching between them quickly. What order feels the most comfortable for you. I like having Rebellion into Agni Naruja into Beowulf. And also, which weapons you bring. Beowulf is good for bosses, So it's usually good to just have, and it also comes with, let me get out this fucking corner, they stopped hitting me. It also comes with this move right here. It's called Killer B. This is a great move, good for mobility, and it's a good jump cancel move. There you go, that shit. So that Beowulf is usually a solid pick. So I would say Rebellion, Beowulf, and then the third weapon can be whichever one you want. I would say that's a good solid beginner loadout for starting out the game. You can just have every weapon equipped, but again, I feel like that's pretty overwhelming to start off. So now let's actually get into an aspect of this game. So I'm gonna start off simple. We're gonna start off with the fact that your jump and your dodge has iframes, along with Trickster. These 3 dodges that you can do with Trickster. These moves having iframes are really big. Like, you can chain together these dashes into a jump, into a roll, into more dashes, into an air trick, and really keep yourself invincible, basically. You know, because during all of that, I'm immortal, basically, you know? They can't hit me, so really constantly staying on the move is what's gonna really be big on the really high difficulties. But basically, when you learn how to control Dante, you should never get hit. You know, the game is really generous with the iframes, so that's the first thing. If you didn't know, jump especially. Again, let me just, again, like I just completely jumped through it because, you know, it has the iframes. Next, we'll go over weapon switching. I mean, if you played the game before, you've probably done this. So what do I mean when I say weapon switching, right? Canceling your like weapon animation. So let me just swing the sword. When I swing the sword and just hold the left stick, there's the end lag, right? He like swings the sword, and then for a little bit, you know, it takes like a second or two before I can move my character. You can cancel that animation by just switching your weapon and then just attacking. So then, yeah, as you can see, it was way quicker than just that one slice, letting it play all the way through. That's every single move in the game can basically be canceled out by a different move or like the same move, right? So for example, let's again talk about another form of switching, gun switching. So you can do the same thing with your guns. A really easy way to show this off is with Spiral, right? As you can see, super duper long end lag, right? This is me mashing the shoot button, and it takes a little bit. Now, if I switch the gun right after I shoot, I fucked up. As you can see, not only do I cancel the end lag of the gun, but I also just do another set of burst damage because I'm shooting this one right after. So you can constantly switch guns and really cancel every animation by just, you know, constantly switching your guns. And there is a kind of sweet spot to every gun, right? Obviously, they like pistols, since it's a really quick animation. You can basically switch whenever. But the Spiral and the Carolina Ann, there's like a little bit of a sweet spot where you gotta wait like 1 second before you can cancel the animation with the other gun, right? So combining these two things is how people really start to move quick, basically, right? Like canceling all the different animations. You know, it's like basically any good action game lets you do this, but you know, it's best to go over everything, basically. So weapon switching, gun switching, RoyalGuard cancels. Basically, you can do the same thing, right? Cancel animations, but with RoyalGuard, right? This shit right here, the RoyalGuard. Got him. So, again, easiest to show this off with Spiral. So, let's do Spiral. And now, this is even quicker than weapon switching, I would say. Like, if you really get the timing down, you can really do this quick. And the enemies are immortal because I have it set that way. But this gun isn't meant to shoot this quick. So being able to do this is a really strong technique. My favorite use of it is with the shotgun. This is what the regular shotgun is. You know, not super duper slow, but again, slow, right? This is what it looks like with RoyalGuard canceling. Again, that's a huge difference. I can even go a little faster if I can get my timing better, right? So again, RoyalGuard canceling, it's something that's good for like the guns in the game, but figuring out ways to use it into your playstyle is just gonna open up more options. You can even do something like this. Oh, wrong one. Again, like this is something that's basically not possible. You know, like just like extending the like base combo, but with RoyalGuard canceling, it is. So again, we've got weapon switching with the guns, melee weapons, and then RoyalGuard. You can also cancel your animations by just shooting your gun, right? So let's do blast off, right? You see, there's a little bit of time before I can back up, before I can move. Again, shooting the gun lets me act just a little bit quicker. It's canceling the animation. So even just shooting your gun is another way you can cancel animations in the game. Look, you see, you can't. Look. He like snaps to the fucking gun. This is all pretty beginner level shit, but you know, I want this video to be for everybody. You know, beginners, pros. Trust me. Like if you're good at the game, I'll try and get there. But we got RoyalGuard. Let's go over buffering. So there are moves in the game that require you to mash an input to get them out. The most common one is the million stab, right? So you can do a stinger, classic move, golden move. But if you mash the attack button before you get to the guy that you're aiming at, he'll do a million stab, right? So let's try and do it. You see it right there. If you're quick enough, I'm pretty sure you could even maybe even get the stab before he does the actual stinger, but what do I mean by buffering? Well, doing this is actually kind of hard, especially in the like heat of the battle, because I'm playing on turbo. Most people are gonna play on turbo, but the game runs at 1.2 times speed. So doing that, you gotta hit the button really hard. Like, and Dante gets there so quick. Like, I'm telling you, like doing it mid combo, like it's not something you can do consistently, right? So you can buffer it. What do I mean by buffering? Basically, while any animation is playing, if you do the action, so if I do the input of stinger while another animation is playing, it gets buffered. This is an easy way to do stuff like the million stab. So an easy way to buffer it would just be with Rebellion itself. So I can go into Helm Splitter, and while the Helm Splitter is doing its thing, I can go into million stab. So let's try that right here. And as you can see, it came out so quick that even before, like usually the stinger comes out before the million stab, but because I buffered it, you know, the million stab came out on basically like the first active frame that it could come out on. Now, this also applies to RoyalGuard. What do I mean? So you might have seen Dunguri or some combo mad guy jumping RoyalGuard, and you might think, oh, he just jumped and did the fucking block, right, and timed it. No, when you dodge and jump and do the RoyalGuard block, it's being buffered. So, what does that mean? Well, just like the million stab coming out on the first active frame, it basically means that since it's being buffered, it's almost as if you're hitting the block button almost at 60 frames per second. In a way, right? That's not how it technically works, but I feel like that's the easiest way to like describe it. The move being buffered basically means that it's being hit constantly, so that the instant frame that it's active, it's gonna work. Since this applies to RoyalGuard, while you're jumping or rolling, you can block and you'll get the perfect block regardless. Like it's like you don't have to time it anymore because it's being buffered. Right? So I'm gonna try and sit here and do the regular one, right? So that was a regular one. That was another regular one. I don't even think I hit it. There we go. That was it right there. That was it right there. See, that was late. Just trying to get one more. That was late again. Okay, I suck. Now let's try and do a buffer one. But now you see why this would come in handy, right? Like, it's really hard to consistently time the fucking perfect RoyalGuard, especially on crazier enemies, right? So let's try a buffered one. There was one right there. Missed it. There was another one right there. Another one right there. Okay, no, that was one right there. There's another one right there. Oh, I missed it. There was one right there. There was a jump one. There was another one right there. Okay, I just did like 4. There was another one right there. It makes doing the parry way easier. There is still a timing for it, but it's way more generous having it be buffered than having to actually do the input yourself. All I'm doing is just dodging before I hit the block button, or jumping right as I hit the block button, and it's buffering the RoyalGuard block. So this is something that for me was like a big eye-opener, because I always thought, like, how the fuck do people like consistently do this fucking move and like actually block shit? But they're not actually timing it perfectly every single time. They're just buffering it, and that's way easier. It's something that you kind of have to come in here and feel it out to really know what I'm talking about. But trust me, it makes doing that way easier. So we've gone over buffering, right? So again, right? Let's even do it with the trickster dodge. This is because, you know, I feel like most, you know, fucking trickster rules, right? Everyone fucking loves trickster. You can even buffer it with them trickster. So right, as he's doing the dodge, again, I'm gonna do the input for the million stab. Okay, hold on. Again, see. There you go. You see, like, if you can so you can take advantage of the little in between moments of while you're doing shit to buffer moves, you know. I can't, like, the easiest way to show that off is with the million stab, but there's plenty of moves that like need to be mashed. So finding ways to, like, I don't know, buffer out different moves, it just makes doing shit like that easier. Now, after all that was, I feel like that should cover about everything besides the main thing, which is jump canceling. Okay, this is like, jump canceling is the shit. It's like, it's the main thing. It's the whole thing. It's what basically makes everything work, right? So what jump canceling allows you to do is, one, extend combos by doing something like this. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah, I just did it right there, but I'll try to do it for a little longer. I just did it right there, but I should be able to get it for a little longer. There we go. So this is a jump cancel, right? What I'm doing is I'm hitting the X button and the attack button immediately after. You should be able to see with the controller input. So a jump cancel, not only it resets everything. So the moment you jump off of something, you're in neutral basically. So let's say you use something like an air trick. This is something you can only do one time. You have to do this one time, and then no matter what, you have to touch the ground before you do it again. But when you do the air trick, you go right to someone immediately. So you can very easily just air trick, jump off, and just literally do this forever. You know, this is, you know, and it's badass. You know, it's a great utility and it's badass, right? That's what jump canceling allows you to do, basically. A great way to practice it would probably be to just like do what I did with air trick, but combine the other trickster moves, right? So do something like this. You could do like, right? Try and do stuff like that. Also, jump canceling is really good for burst damage, right? So for weapons like Killer Bee, again, this move right here, it's aerial attack. That's a really common way to burst down enemies really quickly. Also, the shotgun. Let's say I get this guy in the fucking corner. There we go. Like, you can really do shit like this. Again, the timing's a little tricky, especially on turbo, because again, the game's running faster. Actually, you know what? Let's actually move on. Okay, so I said this would be for beginners and like this would be for pros. Okay, so like if you already good at the game, if you already knew all this shit, why would you watch this video? Okay, the way you should be thinking about your moves and your different styles is almost like each situation is like a question on a test, and you know what weapons, what guns, what style you use, that's the answer. But there's no wrong answer, right? What I mean by that is you should be practicing common scenarios that you will find yourself in and different variations of that scenario, and you should do them constantly so that you don't have to think about it. You know, like I said, it's like there's a question and you have the answer. So what's a common thing? Okay, let's say you're fighting and you do the basic 1 2 3. When that happens, usually people get knocked back. Okay, he's pretty far across the room. You could Stinger. Okay. You could... Oh, I switched to Virgil. You could do a Buffer Million Stab. Okay. But what's more advanced than that? Well, one thing I like doing with Trickster is doing a Trickster into a shotgun shot into another Trickster. I just think it looks cool, but it's also a way of following up after someone gets knocked away. So let's try it right here. Hold on. Let's actually do it with just the shotgun. So as you can see, I could basically follow him as much as I want and just keep the combo going. So that's one answer to the, you know, what do I do when someone's away, right? Another thing could just be switching to your guns. I think a good rule of thumb generally is if a combo was ended like that, right? You do a Stinger or you do a 1 2 3 and they're far away, you should use your guns. Since canceling animations happen so quick, you can do really easy burst damage by just doing something like this, right? 1, 2, 3, shoot, 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 and then go into, right? You want to constantly be finding different answers to these questions, right? Another thing, what's another question? Well, let's say you're doing an air combo. So you got him up in the air. You could go up in the air, hit him with that. Okay, that's pretty basic. Good damage. You could also put him up in the air, hit him with the attack, and then jump cancel into a shotgun shot for just that little bit of added spice, but also damage. Okay, that's another thing you can do. I mean, we still got Trickster up, you know? We still have an air trick after that. So you could and then follow up. Again, I'm not the greatest Devil May Cry player, so like you're gonna have to bear with me. But you see what I'm saying, right? You know, you want to constantly be coming up with answers to these questions. Just constantly rounding it out and just filling it out and constantly practicing those so that you don't have to think about it. It's just something that you do, and what you think about is, you know, how do you mix it up and not necessarily how do you pull it off, right? So let's go back to air combos. Let's do another. Let's bring him in the air. Let's bring him in the air. Let's switch to Swordmaster. You could just hit him in the air and juggle him with you know, pretty basic. Damn. You could just go in the air. Fuck the light. You could just go in the air, right? And then just juggle him with the fucking jump cancel. I mean, I'm trying to do it, but again, like, it's kind of tricky, you know? Like, this shit's, it's not hard, but it's not easy either, right? It's a little bit in between. Again, you could do this, and that's a really good way to just keep him in the air, kill him, you know, good damage. You could also try something like this, right? Maybe you bring him in the air, hit him a few times, switch weapons, right? Because again, switching weapons cancels animations, and that even works in the air. A really easy way to like get that extra extended damage, right, is that. But then immediately after that, switch weapons. You could even do something like this. Let me see. This is gonna be a little hard, right? And then jump cancel. You saw after I hit him with the Killer Bee, I jump canceled into the shotgun. Again, filling out those questions, like making those answers. You want to constantly just be experimenting with things, trying things out, especially since, you know, if you're using this mod, you can switch between all the different things. You know, try out Gunslinger. Maybe instead of doing a stinger all the time with the sword, okay, you could do a stinger into a shotgun stinger. You know? You can also buffer this for a really cool animation where he smacks you with the fucking shotgun point blank, right? You know, you got stuff like this is one of my favorite things to do. You know, just experiment with all the different styles, mainly Gunslinger, because all the guns have a bunch of different moves. And most of them have, again, charge moves or moves that you can buffer when you mash the button. Another thing that I would get used to is switching to Trickster, because it's just the best style, I would say, and it's got like the most utility. Like being able to teleport and air trick, like, or no, air, what is it, Skystar, this shit, that move plus this with jump cancel, it just feels nice first of all, but it really allows you to just constantly stay on the move, stay invincible, obviously because you're fucking literally teleporting, you're like displaced, right? So you can even do, you know, just stand your ground, boom, you can just dodge attacks with an actual air trick. But it's also good for doing stuff for like this, right? So let's say you get him up in the air, right? You can do stuff like this. You know, combine it with the guns. But I think that basically covers everything. I know this video was very like haphazard, but that's just because I didn't write a script. I just started fucking recording and I just started talking, right? So excuse me if the shit isn't immaculate, but I'm gonna, what should I do? I think I'm just gonna turn the damage modifier off so that I can actually do damage and they could hurt me. And we're just gonna play mission 1 and mission 2 because they're both very, very quick. And I'm just gonna show you how I play and maybe, you know, show you how you can use all the different things that we talked about in this fucking video. And let's get it poppin'. I'm just gonna play through the game regularly. Ooh. Alright, see, again, like, I'm not the greatest at the fucking game, but I feel like it's better that you see actual gameplay of me fucking up than just me, like, replaying the mission a bunch of times to try and see how good I can beat it, right? Mission 2. I'll try to focus up. I'll try to do a little better. Watch this shit. Watch this shit. No! I tried to parry it. Tried to do the buffer right there. Tried to do it right there. Woo! Got it right there. No. Got it right there. All right. Again, I didn't do the best. Like, I'll be honest. I really could have just cut this part and then sat there for like an hour and a half and tried to get like 2 really good runs of that mission. But I feel like it's better that you really see that, like, even though you can sit there in the practice room and practice for like an hour and talk about it and really sit there and do specific things, it's really still best to just play the game too. Like, actually playing the game is still gonna be different than being in one room with like an immortal enemy, right? So that should be the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Yeah, thanks for watching, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, peace.